To me, for the first time in my life, I think I felt like, you know what? It is time. In my life, I think I felt like, you know what? It is time. I think it was just really, it had hit home for me that, I don't think that I was down, depressed, frustrated, sad, like had been in the before. Like before, if I had gotten lab work done and then the results came in and they were bad, I'd just feel like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna be able to do anything. This was the first time that I think there was a little mixture of hope there, and it was because I knew that I had really like shifted my brain. Like this was it. One way or another, this was it. I was either going to get healthier or I was going to get gone, one way or another. And so the reality is I chose the former, and I would choose it every time. Um,
Welcome back to PCOS Unfiltered, where we go beyond the diagnosis and talk about what it really takes to reclaim your health, your energy, and your life. Today's episode is such a powerful conversation because it's about so much more than weight loss. It's about wake-up calls, identity shifts, healing from the inside out, and what can happen when someone finally decides that they are not done yet. My guest today is Chris Garrido, and his story is one that I know will resonate with so many people. After years of living in a body that felt limiting, exhausting, and unsustainable, Chris reached a breaking point following the loss of his father. At nearly 50 years old and over 400 pounds, he realized that if something didn't change, he was headed down a path that would cost him not only his health, but precious time with his wife and sons. What followed was not an overnight transformation or some quick fix. It was a decision, then another, then another. Through nutrition, medical support, strength training, mindset shifts, and a willingness to stay in the process even when it was hard, Chris completely changed the trajectory of his life. In this episode, we talk about the emotional wake-up call that started it all, the reality of living in a body that no longer allowed him to fully show up for his family, the role of lab work, GLP-1 support, hormones, strength training, and why real transformation is about so much more than the number on a scale. We also talk about discipline, momentum, identity, and the ripple effect that happens when one person chooses to change. This is an incredibly honest, motivating, and hopeful conversation for anyone who has ever thought they were too far gone, too stuck, or too late to begin again. As a reminder, the content shared on PCOS Unfiltered is for informational and educational purposes only. The views and opinions expressed by the host and guests are not intended to serve as medical advice. As always, consult with a qualified healthcare professional before making any changes to your diet, exercise, or treatment plan. The information shared is based on personal experience and expert interviews and is not a substitute for professional medical guidance. So let's get into it. Here's my conversation with Chris Garrido.
The listen, for anybody that's listening to this, I don't care what the change is, whether it's health and wellness, whether it's a career change, whether it's a relationship change, there's probably something in your life that you would love to make better. And I will preach this until the day that I die. If you make that one thing better, that success in that one area will spill over into every other aspect of your life.
Oh, yeah.
This is not just about me losing weight or adding muscle. This is about the authority that I now can sit down and talk to you with, the enthusiasm that I can speak with. I find myself evangelizing now about health and wellness. Me, I was 440 pounds 18 months ago, and here I am, like, come on, let's go. But I'm also, more importantly, I'm a better husband. I am a more present husband. I show up in my marriage every day in ways that I never could before. I'm a better father, not just because I can do more things, and I can do more things. That is a big part of it. But like, I just have this recognition now of how important it is to be present. And I think before I was doing too many things to just sort of numb the pain, and really just hiding from things that I knew I needed to change, largely in a world of distraction. And now I have this clarity that causes me to really not want distraction anymore. I want to be present. I want to be there for them. I want to be there for me. I want to be there for you. I want to be there for your listeners. I literally want to positively impact as many lives as I can. And this journey has really just unleashed the beast when it comes to that. And so if there's one person listening that's thinking like, yeah, I'd like to change that thing, but I don't know, do it. do it. Like Jen told
Yeah.
me, it's time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can't tell you how many clients I've helped that have told me their marriages have improved. Their, even their kids, like maybe their kids were headed, down that same path as them, and now and that their kids, have lost weight and are just doing better in general. I even had somebody tell me their dog lost weight one time. But
Well, you know what? My dog has lost weight, actually. That's actually
yeah.
true. Yeah, my
Yeah.
dog, it's not our fault. We adopted her overweight, and the vet said she needs to lose weight. But that person you just described, that's me. And so
Hmm.
that's the other piece, Lindsay. That's so important what you just said. You don't even realize how many people you're going to inspire. My 70-year-old father-in-law is going to the gym on a regular basis now,
Hmm.
and he will tell
Yeah.
you, with my mother-in-law, they will tell you that, hey, you did this. My wife has lost 20, 30 pounds. My kids are healthier. We eat
Hmm.
differently as a family, but the other thing that happens is our activity is like activity now. It's not sedentary. It's let's go out and do
Yeah.
this. Let's go out and do that. And so,
Yeah.
one of the cool things for my family was I told you in July of 2024 I had to stay at the hotel while they went to the zoo. In July of 2025 we took a vacation to Georgia, and I don't even know why, but in my brain I was just like, you know what? I want to climb Stone Mountain. I don't even know why I knew what Stone Mountain was. I've never been there before. Didn't know the first thing about it. And I told my wife, and she was like, "You want to climb Stone Mountain?" And I was like, "Yes." And here's why. We'll be in Atlanta almost a year to the day of that Birmingham trip, July 2024 to July 2025. To me, like, what a symbolic bookend to this year of transformation of being the dad that was too fat to go to the zoo and had to stay at the hotel room by himself and get pictures of his family, to the dad that climbs to the top of a mountain with his family. Like that was very meaningful to me, even though the idea just popped in my head. And so we didn't know what to expect, but we went up to Atlanta, my wife said, "When do you want to do this?" And I said, "Tomorrow morning." And she was like, "Tomorrow morning already?" And I said, "Yes, I want to just be done with it." And we had a lot of other activities planned too. We went to the MLK Center. We went to a Braves game. We went to the Georgia Aquarium. And so we had all this other stuff. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to get physically spent, let's get the mountain out of the way first. Let's not go do, 50,000 steps at these other things and then have a mountain to climb. But we went, and I'm telling you, Lindsay, we had no idea. They said there was walking trails. It is not a walking trail. It is a granite mountain that gets slick in the rain. It did rain the day I was there. It was also one of the hottest days on record in Atlanta. Is July 22nd, 2025.
Mm.
It's like high upper 90s. I mean, it was awful, awful conditions. And I will tell you, it is the hardest physical thing I've ever done in my life. Hardest thing I've ever done. And there's people out there that are jogging it. One guy came jogging down, like singing gospel music. I'm like, this is nothing for some people. And yet this is Everest for me, like literally and figuratively.
Mhm.
And we took so many breaks, and but we did it, right? And I remember I got to the point that I thought was the halfway point, and I didn't know if I was going to make it. I told my wife, I said, if we have to do what we just did again, I don't know if I'm going to make it. And there was like a 60-something-year-old woman there, and she saw me. And remember, at the time I'm climbing this mountain, I'm still probably 350. Like I'm still pretty significantly overweight. And so she said, "You're working hard today, huh?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I don't know if I'm going to make it though." I said, this is a halfway point. Like, I'm really struggling. She's like, "Halfway point?" She's like, "You're almost there." I said, "What do you mean?" And her son brought me out of this little pavilion. He's like, "See that point right up there?" He's like, "That's the top." And I'm like, "What?" And now I'm invigorated. Now I'm like, "Oh, I'm in my head, I'm thinking like I might fail." And now I'm like, "There's no way I can fail." And so we ended up finishing that, and I got to the top, and in front of my kids, I just broke down in tears. I was just sobbing uncontrollably, to the point where I think my wife knew, but she also wanted to make sure that nothing was like physically wrong. And she's like, "Just tell me that you're okay." And the only words I could get out was, "I did it. I did it." I just kept saying that over and over again. I did it. And I look back on that moment, and I think that singular moment might change the entire trajectory of my kid's life. Because in that moment, they saw me break down with emotion. That's something they had never seen before. They also saw me climb to the top of a mountain 1,600 feet above sea level a year after I couldn't go stand and look at animals with them at a zoo. I mean, in that moment, I'd like to believe that both of my sons recognized, like, there is nothing that is impossible, and there is no one that is too far gone. Like, no matter what, no matter when, just make the change. And I hope that they'll carry that forever. I know that I will.
Yeah. So are you going up there? this year too?
I think so. Well, so now my son has a baseball tournament back in Atlanta this summer, Marietta, close enough. And I haven't really told my wife this yet. I may have like made a joking comment about it, but I absolutely have to do it again. And now the goal would be, can I get to the top without stopping? Like how
Hmm.
much easier will it be this time? I'm 293 pounds right now. Again, still not done yet. Never will be done. Perpetual improvement is the goal now. I just want to constantly keep getting better. But yeah, I have to climb it again. I mean,
Yeah.
how could I can't go up there and not climb it. Might become an annual thing now. I might just go to Atlanta on the hottest day every summer and go climb Stone Mountain. But we have
Just
to
for
do it
fun.
though. Yeah, just for fun. Who would have ever thought I would have said that, by the
Yeah.
way?
Yeah. Um, I liked what you were saying too, about the goals and, you don't, you're never done, right? I mean, uh, I was a big Michael Jordan fan back in the day. Um, but I've even said it, you could say any, Tom Brady, Simone Biles, any of those, they didn't stop when they started breaking records or when they, were at the top of their game, right? And they had coaches and their coaches had coaches,
Right.
like they're constantly working to get better. And with my clients, I talk about, raising your standard, raising the bar because yeah, like once you kind of meet that goal and it doesn't have to be defined by the scale. It could
Mhm.
be like, cutting out that food or, you're feeling great. Okay, now let's take the next step and then, raising your standards along the way, and I know for me personally, like when I, started with my health problems and I had to cut out things that I never would have thought. I thought I was eating great, but I
Mhm.
didn't tackle it all at once, right? I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing now. And now I have very high standards when it comes to food. And there's sometimes where I can't control that, and I've also learned to let that go as well. But like when I can control it, I have my standards and I live by that. And that's around movement, that's around food, all that stuff. I think is super important. So,
That's something really
um,
important right there. You reminded me of Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is in that
yeah,
same like greatest
yeah,
of all time
right.
conversation. He not only did he have a swing coach, which that in and of itself, like who's going to teach Tiger Woods how to swing a golf club better? But he had a swing coach. But Tiger Woods was always notorious at the end of every year, he would break down his swing and start all over. He was constantly reinventing his swing.
Yeah.
And there was a
Mhm.
time in my life where I thought that was crazy. I'm like, that's dumb. Like, you have the best swing in the world, leave it alone. If it ain't broke, don't fix it? And now, like, where I've kind of evolved to, even mentally, not from a physical transformation, but a mindset transformation, I completely understand that now. Because what worked
Yeah,
yesterday may not work tomorrow. And so, how can we go
exactly.
back and refine it and continue to make it better? And something else you
Hmm.
said earlier, too, I thought was so spot on. And I don't think I ever considered that when you talked about people get motivated to either move away from pain or move toward pleasure. I don't know a lot of people that have ever been like, I want to lose weight because it's gonna feel great, right? Like the pain is the real motivator more times than not.
Exactly.
But to that point though, if a year and a half ago I could have known how I would feel today and the things that I could do and the role that I could play in the lives of my wife and my kids and my clients and my friends and my community, the pleasure
Hmm.
piece of it, it would have been enough to get me here. Like it feels so good. But that wasn't it for me. It was get away from pain. And that was the more drastic motivator for me. But I've never even considered what you said, Lindsie, like just knowing how I feel. Like if any of us could hit a fast forward button and be like, well, this is what I'm going to look like and this is what it's going to feel like. And
Yeah.
like we would be racing to the gym. We would be racing to eat healthier. We would be racing to do all the things to push us towards wellness as quickly as we can. We just
Hmm.
don't know. And so that's why the 90 days was so important for me. Like in the absence of belief, we need some commitment. Like at some point, people ask me, like, well, was it hard? Yeah, of course it was hard. It still is hard, right? It's always going to be hard. But the cool thing about it is, well, it was hard until it wasn't, right? Like it's hard, but it's a different kind of hard. At some point in time, it just becomes what you do. Going to the gym is hard
Exactly.
and it's still hard. I was in there it was by the way, it's 54 degrees inside the gym this morning. I'm in the gym freezing on leg day. Everything's tight and stiff. It's still hard, right? But it just becomes what you do. And so the same way that I take a shower, I don't think about it. Like, should I take it? I don't know if I have the energy. I don't know who wants to do that, right? Like, I just go to the gym. It's just part of what I do. The
Yeah.
same thing with my food. Like, it felt like such sacrifice in the beginning. Like, oh, I can't eat this and I can't eat that. It's now just what I eat. That's why I'm really bad, Lindsay. You might even think this is a bad idea. You probably tell all of your clients, don't do what Chris does, but I eat the exact same thing every day, because it eliminates options, which does, I don't even need the discipline. I know exactly what I'm going to eat every single day. Some people get sick of that. I'm just weird. Like I don't, I think I've gotten to a point now where I crave the stuff that I eat because it's just what I eat. Like I used to
Hmm.
have a lot of cravings early on, or I would say like, okay, I'm going to give myself a cheat day. Like once every 6 weeks, I'm going to take a cheat day. And I would literally keep a list of all the things I'm going to eat on my cheat day. Be like, oh, I had a craving. I'm going to write that down. I don't even know if I ever had the cheat day. Like in my mind in the beginning, that's how it was going to be. And then by the time I got to that point, I'm like, I don't even want to do that anymore. Like
Yeah.
I like what I'm doing. I like what I'm eating. I like the life that I'm living, and then I like the outcome of it. You
Hmm.
love the process and surrender the outcome, and then whoa, all of a sudden you love the outcome too.
Yeah. Nothing tastes as good as feeling amazing, right?
Yeah, I hate that though, because when I was 440 pounds, people would tell me that, and I'd be like, "Have you ever had smoked ribs? Have you ever had brisket?" It is true. It is true. And how I feel now, and the longevity that God willing I'll have is far more important than any food
Mhm.
tastes. But I do remember hearing that when I was over 400 pounds, and I would just be like, "You guys are so stupid. You're just eating the wrong stuff."
But now you get it more.
I get it. I do get it. I'll never tell anybody that though, because I remember how it made me feel. So I'm like, I'm gonna stay away from that cliche. Hey,
Yeah,
just nothing
that's
tastes as
actually
good as
yeah.
being fit fuels. And people are gonna be like, really? Watch me shovel this macaroni and cheese in my mouth and tell you you're wrong.
Yeah, no, that's actually something towards the end of my 90-day program that I do talk to my clients about because of course by then, yes, they are feeling amazing and they know how whatever X, Y, and Z food is going to make them feel and they don't want to go back to that, And again, it's part of like raising your standards, along the way because they know what it's going to do to their body. Whether that's weight or energy or, skin or whatever it might be, and they don't want to feel that way anymore. So,
Tell them on day 90. Don't tell them on day one.
yes, exactly. No, I don't say it on day one.
By the way, it's so cool that you have a 90-day program. That 90-day thing keeps
Yeah,
popping
I
up. Like
know, right?
there's science behind it. I need to connect you with my wife too, because the other piece of this that you would love, she actually has really, not only are we eating, when I say I'm eating clean, I basically mean like I'm eating under my daily caloric intake limit. I'm hitting all my macros. When she talks about clean eating, it's a whole different story. And so she has eliminated all the seed oils, all the artificial preservatives, all the
Yes.
artificial
Yeah.
colors. I mean, she has really leaned in heavily. She has an unbelievable garden that she started from scratch in the backyard. Now she's growing broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, tomatoes,
Hmm.
peppers, lots of different herbs and whatnot. So a lot of the stuff that we eat is garden to table. In my breakfast every morning, I have a jalapeno that's grown in her garden, which by the way,
Yeah.
her jalapenos are so much better and so much spicier than the store-bought ones. I don't know how
Oh
she
yeah.
does that. But no, she's really changed my idea of what clean eating is. And she did it for her own underlying health, I
Hmm.
mean, reasons. She got diagnosed with Hashimoto's, and she's had to go to a gluten-free diet and make a lot of
Yeah.
changes. And so she's been really, really instrumental for me because, not only does she do all my meal prep, but she makes every like morsel of food that I eat every day and has
Hmm.
really throughout our entire 15 years of marriage.
Yeah.
But the reality is she also has really opened my eyes to a lot of other things. So not only am I eating, healthier from a weight loss standpoint and a maintenance standpoint, but I'm really eating healthier from a longevity, eliminating potential carcinogens and stuff like that. Like we are
Hmm.
super clean in the way that and our kids too. Our kids don't eat food dye. Like that should be a no-brainer, by the way. I don't know why everything. I looked at a tube of white toothpaste and it has blue food dye in it. Why?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
It's
understand.
it's crazy. I know the mouthwashes that are out there that are like purple and
Yep.
they have yeah, they have food dyes in them. And I'm like, just to
The
make them more
sleep
appealing.
medication, like the little NyQuil Z pills or whatever that
Mm-hmm.
are like
Yep.
crayon purple. Does it have to be crayon purple? Like if it was white, would fewer people buy it? Is that the problem?
I guess so. Yeah. Or clear. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
weird to me. Like
It's
purple's
crazy.
supposed to make me sleepy, I guess.
Yeah.
Somewhere some marketing team, determined that,
Oh,
and now
yeah.
we can all
Yeah.
poison our bodies as a result of it. It's great.
If you think about it, there's a lot of fast food chains out there that have either red or yellow in their logo, or both,
That's a good point.
right?
Good point.
Because there
Yeah.
has been research done that those colors.
It's ketchup and mustard.
Yeah.
That's what's
Yeah.
happening. No, you said
Yeah.
it, and immediately five companies came to mind. So you're
Yep,
right.
exactly. Yeah. Um, so as we kind of start to wrap up, I want you to tell the listeners about your book
Oh
and
yeah.
kind of,
So I
yeah.
had this idea, once I climbed the mountain, it was kind of that bookend on year one of the journey. And so I just had an idea of like writing a book about, the first year of it and what it looked like. And my trainer really pushed me to do a lot of, I told you I was in at 7:30. I didn't want anybody to be there. I didn't want anybody to see me. I didn't want to talk about it. I was just so ashamed at how low my starting point was that I did not want to be transparent about this journey at all. And I'm really glad that he forced me out of my comfort zone with that. Basically how he did it was he said, there's probably thousands of people out there that could be better off by hearing your story, and they can relate to you in a way that they'll never relate to me.
Mhm.
My trainer's a world record, power lifter. He's got abs, he's shredded, like he looks like a robot, right? Like, and so he's like, those people will never relate to me. They'll always say, but you're different, you're genetically different, or you've always been this way. He's like, when they look at you, they'll relate to you. And so I started sharing the journey on social media, just posting videos from the gym and talking. I did a monthly weight loss recap. So I told everybody kind of where I was and what my in-body had, what my labs were. I'm still doing labs every 3 months, tracking all of that. And so I just started to like get messages from people that are like, hey, I just want you to know, I'm going to the gym now, or I've lost 40 pounds now because your journey inspired me. And that to this day is still like the most humbling thing in the world, that
Mhm.
just by me sharing my story, and you're doing this, Lindsie, like just even this podcast, like
Yeah.
you're inspiring people to take control of their health, probably people that you'll never even know about, right? Like around the world. I got a
Yeah.
message from a guy in England, and he's like, I don't know him. And he's like, hey, we know this guy as a mutual friend, and he shared your journey with me. And I was looking through it, and just want to let you know, like, I'm already losing weight. I'm going to the gym. Like, this is a perfect stranger, across the
Wow.
world. And there's something so humbling about that. And so, to me, the book was a no-brainer. It's just a way to reach more people and share the journey with more people. I've got another friend of mine here locally sent me a message, and I've known him. Our kids played baseball together when they were much younger, and he said, "Hey, I didn't tell anybody about this, and I didn't post it on Facebook." He's like, "But I'm only sharing this with you." He sent me a picture. He's lost over 100 pounds. He looks incredible, and he's like,
Wow.
"This started because you did this." I've had people that came and joined the gym and work out with me there, and like I said, my in-laws, my kids are healthier. Both of my kids have really gotten strong, and a lot of that. And again, I don't want to talk about dieting with kids. It's not dieting. It's just really being more mindful about what we
It's,
put in our
yeah.
body, and
Yeah.
making better choices. So yeah, the book, I have a copy of it right here. It's called Fit by 50, My Year-Long Journey from Death to Life, as Facebook likes to, or Zoom
There we
likes
go.
to. Watch this. I'm gonna beat the
There
system.
we go.
By the
I
way,
can
the
see it.
picture there on the cover is me at the top of Stone Mountain. So the same story that I told you earlier. That was the picture that we took when we got to the top of it. But this is really really vulnerable. By the way, I wrote this for people with 50-year-old eyes, so it's 14-point double spaced. So some a couple people told me I don't even need my readers for this. I go, you're welcome. Um, but the book is just a really vulnerable tale of where I started. And I share stuff in there like the fact that at 49 years old I couldn't tie my shoes. My wife had to tie my shoes for me. That's humiliating, and there's a lot of shame in that. And I've processed all of it. And I processed it really just for the sake of letting my vulnerability like inspire and motivate other people. But I talk a lot about where I was and what the journey looked like in the first year. And candidly, this summer will be the end of year two, and I won't be shocked if I write a second book on year two, because it's just not done. It's never done, right? Like
Yeah.
We're always just looking for perpetual improvement. And I've had so many opportunities that have come from this journey too. I've been interviewed by and featured by a couple of local news stations. I've been on a couple of radio shows, being able to do podcasts like this one with you. I'm
Mhm.
really just, I want to go out and just spread a message. And if somebody asks me, like, in a nutshell, what's the message? The message is not really for me about eating healthier. The message is not really about going to the gym. The message is very simply whatever it is in your life that you want to change and that you want to improve. You have the ability to do it. You have the ability to do it in probably a shorter period of time than you think, and you are never, ever, ever too far gone to stop. Or
Yeah.
to start, because there were so many issues that I had structurally and metabolically and my weight and all of that. And the reality is, and I mean this from my core when I say this, everyone says this, it's so cliche. This is not a cliche when I say it. It is a literal fact. If I can do this, anyone can do it. Like literally anyone can do it, because I started from, probably the worst possible place. At
Mhm.
my heaviest, my 440 wasn't even my heaviest. My heaviest, I was 484. I was almost 500 pounds.
Wow.
And so to be able to come from that and now, be down 147 pounds. I weigh 293 pounds now. All of my labs are in normal range, and not even normal range, because normal range is annoying. Optimal range, like, better than anybody, right? Like, well, no,
Yeah.
the range is here and you're somewhere over here, so you're fine. No, I'm right in
Yeah.
the middle, right?
Mhm.
Like
We want
maximizing.
optimal. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, optimal places and all those, and I
Mhm.
just can't. I'm just so excited. I used to think about death a lot. I talk about it in the book. I used to pray that God would let me live to be 58 years old, because at 58, both of my kids would have graduated high school. Like I just
Mhm.
wanted to barely make it through their childhood. If I could just be blessed enough to do that, it would be enough. And the reality is, what kind of father prays to live to be 58? Like, oh, I should be praying to live to 98, And so now I used to think so much about death, and now all I think about is life. I'm just so busy living. And kind of reminds me of Shawshank Redemption, when Morgan Freeman says you got to get busy living or get busy dying. I'm just too busy living to even think about dying, and it's a good
Yeah.
place. So to anybody that wants to change any aspect of their life, I'm here to be a testimonial and say it is possible, it is worth it, and the best time to do it is right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a great way to end it, because I was going to ask what your piece of advice would be. So, I mean, yeah, and that's my message with this podcast too. It's never too late to start, to just take that first step and do, something. Um, yeah, you're like you said, you're not too far gone. So I think that's super, super important. If you don't take anything else away from this, which I think there's a lot to take away from this, but I think, that should be it. Anybody can do it at any time. Yeah.
I would add one thing to that too. I've done a lot of reading. I don't know when I became a reader, like 2 years ago. I used to never read. And I read a book called Relentless Solution Focus by Dr. Jason Selk. And he talks about the fact that the reason why people get so intimidated by problems is because we believe that a solution is taking a problem and making it perfect. And
Mm-hmm.
perfect is it doesn't exist in my brain. Perfect is just a reason to not start. Well, it can never be perfect, so or I'm gonna wait till things are perfect, and then no, perfect doesn't exist, right? Like one day never comes. Day one comes, it's today, right? And
Yeah.
so he in the book he talks about the fact that just making a situation 1% better is a solution. Like we made it better, and then we solve it again, we solve it again, we solve it again,
Yeah.
and we just compound 1% solutions on top of each other. And so the things in our life that we feel like are largely out of our control, they really aren't. Even if we don't
Mm-hmm.
have the ability to snap our fingers and make it perfect, we have the ability to do something to push the needle and make it 1% better. And that's a solution. And then we
Yeah.
just look for the next solution. And so for what you're doing and your message to people, I think that's a really important nugget is, can you make everything perfect tomorrow? No. But are there things that are within your control that can get you one step closer to perfect? Every single time. Every time.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. Love it. Well, I think that's a great place to end this. One very last question is, where can people find you and connect with you, and then also find your book?
Yeah, the book is on it's on Amazon. It's available in paperback and Kindle. So Fit by 50. By the way, there's a lot of books called Fit by 50. I didn't know that when I wrote it. So very specifically, Fit by 50, my year-long journey from death to life. It's on Amazon, paperback and Kindle, and then also on Audible. I did, and I narrated it because it's my story. I couldn't let anybody else
Mhm.
tell my story. And I do have a page right now on Instagram that's really just kind of documenting my fitness journey. So my name, Chris Garrido, fit underscore 50 on Instagram, and I just post a lot of gym videos there and talk a lot about nutrition. A lot of people ask me, what do you eat? So I've been posting a lot of my food lately. It's really easy. It's the same thing every day. So, but again, I try to be as vulnerable as I can. If anybody ever has any questions about anything, I'm always responsive. I mean, I get messages from people that I don't know, and I love it. I love it. I
Yeah.
have capacity for it now. I'm not tired all the
Yeah.
time, you know. So to me, I can be. I got so out of shape and overweight that I was like a bad friend. Like people would ask me, if you asked me to do you a favor, the answer was going to be no by default because I was too unhealthy. Like, people would be like, oh, can you help me move? No, I can't help you move. I can't walk across the house right now, you know? So now I feel like I'm trying to make up for lost time. I'm looking for, hey, can I do you a favor? Is there anything you need? Like, I just want to go out and help. I want to positively impact lives. And if I can do that by sharing my story, then it's a great start.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that. Well, thank you. Thank you for taking the time
Yeah.
to do this and being vulnerable and sharing your story. And I know I really, really appreciate it. And I'm sure our listeners do too. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, by the way. You're doing a very great service for a lot of people that need to hear it, especially women. I've seen it with my wife. There are so many shortcomings in the American medical system when it comes to women that, they'll just sweep things under the rug. You're fine, I watched it happen with my wife, and so many things went so largely undiagnosed because on paper she fit inside of a range, and she was just told, like, no, 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 you're fine. It's anxiety, it's stress. And I know a little bit about what you tell people. Listen to your body. Women are so in tune with their bodies, and some doctor, typically a male, will be like, no, you're wrong. I watched it happen with my wife. So keep banging that drum and keep doing what you're doing, because there's a lot of people that need that message.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of PCOS Unfiltered. I hope Chris's story reminded you of something really important. It is never too late to take the first step. No matter how stuck you feel, no matter how long you've been struggling, and no matter how far gone you think you are, change is still possible. One of the biggest takeaways from this conversation is that transformation doesn't require perfection. It just requires a decision to begin, and then the willingness to keep going. One step, one choice, 1% better at a time. I also love the reminder that healing is never just about one outcome. When you start improving your health, it spills into everything. Your confidence, your energy, your relationships, your presence, your purpose, and the way you show up in your life. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with a friend, take a screenshot and tag us on social media, or leave a review so more people can find this conversation and realize that their story is not over yet. You can connect with Chris on Instagram at fit_50, and his book, Fit by 50, My Year-Long Journey from Death to Life, is available on Amazon, Kindle, and Audible. I'll make sure all of that is linked in the show notes for you. All right, I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you on the next episode of PCOS Unfiltered. Nourish, heal, thrive.